We're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back. Welcome back to the Summer Lovin
Podcast.
Podcast.
Do you know what I realised? We can't say the numbers. We were saying like episode number 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, but I'm going to lose count at some point and I just don't want to embarrass myself. So
We're on episode 6.
Okay,
I can tell you. So
Thanks.
we're on
for
episode 6. We're
Yeah.
here. We're rolling. We're rocking. Your favourite husband and wife duo is
Yeah.
back. My name is Hassan.
And I am Summer. And we want to know how you guys are doing.
I hope you guys are having a wonderful week or have had a wonderful week.
Yeah.
And we hope you're just
You're just
enjoying
vibing.
life.
You're just chilling.
You're
You're
just
just
vibing.
living and thriving.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
if you're not, then good things are going to come your way. Hopefully.
100%.
Really soon.
Defo.
So yeah, so we actually...
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. I want to escape the UK.
Who doesn't?
I want to
Who
escape the UK,
doesn't?
but apart from that, I'm good.
50 days of rain during summer
Yeah,
is absolutely
and
criminal.
Today, it was tipping it down with rain. And I just thought, do you know what? It's enough.
It's enough.
We are at the end of May. We're about to be going into June this weekend. And what was that?
I didn't know.
A little rain
Basically, I was
dance.
trying to like position myself in a way and it didn't work, so I had to try and style it out.
I thought you were trying to like style the rain away.
For those of you
I
that
don't
are
think that's the
listening
way it works.
in the audio, I did like a little
Hassan's just doing a little
breakdance move, something
Mexican
like
wave.
that. Something like that. Right. So basically, today we are doing a travel pod.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about our honeymoon.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about travel tips. We're going to be talking about
Why
places
we want to
we've
leave
been,
the UK and where
we
we're
wanna
going to go.
Yeah, where next? That's we need to. Where next, basically. By the way, I saw a TikTok today, and it describes me so well. My toxic trait is sending a message like to someone, basically be like, "We can go here for like £200." What'd you say?
Or just seen no, it's not even that. It's just seen a £30 Ryanair flight, or just seen a Ryanair sale.
Ryanair sales on. Let's have a look.
Ryanair are doing so many sales lately. I think they've done 2 sales in the last 3 weeks.
No, do you know what it is? They
I did see
will
flights
always.
to Switzerland for £12.50.
Why didn't we book it?
Do you want to go?
100%.
Well,
We'll see. No, do you know what? We were doing our little European hops, and I was like loving it. But since coming back from honeymoon, I don't think European countries can like scratch the itch that I've got at the moment, because all of the destinations I'm like looking at are like Mexico, Thailand again,
Philippines,
Vietnam, like Japan.
Cambodia. Do you know what it is? I think like the European city breaks, I feel like we've said this before. I can't remember if we have, but I think I actually used to, when I was in uni, I was working my like part-time weekend job, and there was a guy who worked with me, and he had come over from Canada to study, and he just said, he was like, do you guys know how lucky you are, because you can just take a flight and in an hour you'll be in Amsterdam, or in an hour you could be in Paris, or you could be in Croatia, or you could be in Bulgaria, or you could be in, you know, all these like Prague, wherever, Italy, these great, amazing, really cool places, and you're so close. Whereas, I mean, obviously, you know, when American people are coming over and they're doing like their Euro summer and stuff, and it's obviously because they can't like just hop over. And
No,
I feel
of
like
course.
we're so spoiled to have it on our doorstep. But definitely now that we've been, I feel like the thing is you feel so grateful for traveling all those countries and having them really close to you, and then you go somewhere far away and then you realize how wide the world is and how big it is.
No, it's
and
that as
how
well.
much
But the
there
thing is, it's like what we've
undiscovered.
got here with all of these European countries. Is you go to like Southeast Asia, they're all like so close to each other. Singapore, Malaysia, Bali, Vietnam, they're all very close to each other. And then Australia's not even far from them.
Yeah,
you know?
Australia is so spoiled, honestly.
So
they're so close.
you're like, so to be honest, it's not just our side of the world. I feel like maybe America or certain cities or states in America are stupidly far from everything. So for them, it is tough to like get out and see the rest of the world.
Even state to state, some of the travel time is
Yeah, no, but
crazy.
obviously like from LA to New York is quite a long flight. But I'm saying like, say for example, if you're like, I don't know, Alaska sides, right, which is like that side of America, I guess. If New York's there, I'm pretty sure Alaska's on that side.
Are you
from
sure?
them. I'm pretty sure, but I might be wrong.
My geography
If
is
I'm
not
not,
strong.
if I'm
so.
wrong, I'm sorry for getting it wrong. But anyway, I'm saying if you're on that side of America anyway.
Mm.
But from there to like even get to New York would be 8 hours. So then, can you imagine how long it would take you to get to like
Anywhere from there.
from New York then to like London or whatever? Like, and
Mm.
even if you're gonna go down, you go down. It takes you so long to get down. You just about hit LA.
Mm.
And then like so you can't even go South America and stuff. I guess if you're like Texas what is borders Mexico, I believe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
I might be wrong,
so.
but I'm pretty sure it's fairly close to the border if I'm not mistaken. So even then, at least you can kind of go down to Mexico and then down to like DR and the rest and South America. Bless you.
Sorry,
Hay fever's
my
coming?
hay fever's like really back with a vengeance, guys. And once those hay fever tablets wear off,
It's crazy. They just disappear.
it's like
isn't
1
it?
hour they're working and suddenly they're just not, and the sneezes just keep coming. What I've always wondered is why am I sneezing when I'm indoors when these plants are not real?
They're
So
giving you hay fever.
they're just, even just the general vibe is making my hay fever just tick. But yeah, I think so we'll actually talk about where we've been, guys, because the reason why we've now got an itch for that side of the world is because we went on honeymoon finally, and we flew to Singapore, and then we
Yeah.
went to Bali, and then we stopped in Malaysia on the way back, and we loved every
We
second.
had an amazing time.
It was incredible.
Insane. Do you know what? When I think about this holiday, I don't even know where to begin. So it's just like it was just
perfect.
different
I don't
gravy.
think
It was
I just
like,
don't think
amazing.
there was anything about it where I thought, oh, didn't love it, or yeah. I mean, we flew with Singapore Airlines for the first time, and honestly, guys, 100% can see why they're number one in the world.
Yeah, it was
Absolutely
incredible.
loved it. I mean, it was obviously because we were flying to Singapore first, because that's kind of the order that we did things in. But I think
Let's break it down. Let's actually go through what we did
bit by bit.
bit by bit. So we were flying to Singapore. Our flight was due to set off at 10 a.m. and it was going to land the next day at 7 a.m. But it was only 13-hour flights. The reason why you end up landing so far forward is because obviously time difference.
Time travel, actually, is what Hassan calls it.
Yeah, like you're time traveling,
travel.
isn't it? So it was a 13-hour flight. So what I said to Summer is, because we're going to literally land in the morning the next day, I said, let's stay up all night. I said we should have like maybe an hour, 2-hour nap max, but stay up the whole night. So then when we land, so stay up the whole night, sleep on this flight as much as possible. So then when we land on the other side, full of energy, and we kind of
just
beat
get
jet
up and
lag,
go.
I guess. It kind of worked. The disaster part of the plan was we got there and our flight was delayed 5 hours.
Yeah, I think especially when we'd basically been up all night, and also there were just so many bits, just girly things that I had just left to the last minute, you know, packing your jewellery and your hair stuff and your makeup and your skincare and all of that. And I think I was just milling around for ages. I think I had a nap for about an hour and a half. So I think like I'd slept an hour and a half. Hassan had slept like 2 hours or something.
Less
and
than
then
that.
we got to the airport and obviously realised we got there so early as well because we needed to check in and all of that. And just also I've not flown long haul in a really long time. I don't actually think I've ever had a flight that long, but it was just, we've just not done check luggage really in a really long time. So
But to be
we were
honest,
just there
that's
so
something.
early.
That's something with me. Like if we're checking luggage and we're going like on a long haul flight, I need to be there 4 hours before. I want
he's
to
just
get
in
the bags.
full airport mode.
Bags need to be dropped
And I just
off,
follow
and then
along.
we just go through, and then you just relax for a bit. But obviously, yeah, we checked. The thing is, we checked our luggage, which was a palaver in itself. This is my gripe with airports now. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm traveling. They want to move towards technology and they don't want to do this jobs themselves, but then you end up having to go back to the people. So like they had these machines where you could kind of check in and then it prints your boarding pass, and all of this didn't work. So then we ended up having to join a queue. But the funny thing is we went to the queue first and the lady goes, no, you have to use a machine. So then we went to use the machine.
And then the machine didn't work.
The
But
machine
also
was
we weren't the only people, so there were definitely other people. That was the first thing. The other thing we were going to say is, so we actually talked about this when we got back. So many people had documents in plastic wallets, and it was just freaking us out. we didn't have anything printed off.
I completely forgot about this.
And honestly, everywhere we looked, when we were waiting,
This was on the way to Singapore.
Yeah, we were waiting back in the queue then at Heathrow Airport, and we haven't checked our luggage. So we've gone back to the machine then to try and get it to work. And everyone around us is pulling out these plastic wallets.
Do you know what it was? So look, I know this is something. When I used to travel when I was younger, like in my late teens or whatever, and or even like with family and stuff, we'd have like a little plastic wallet or whatever, or like one of those things where you button open or whatever, and you'd have your flight details and stuff in there. You'd have your hotel address, all of that, copies of your passport, and you'd have everything, right? And I feel like it made sense for that day and age.
Yeah,
right?
at that time.
You didn't have Wi-Fi everywhere and all of this. But as technology's advanced, I've just got everything on my phone. I've got email copies. I can go on the app to look for the booking information. There's so much
also,
there. And then I can access that Wi-Fi everywhere else. If my phone's not working, I can log in on Summer's phone.
But you know what was funny? It was not limited to an age group. So it wasn't, let's say, it wasn't like people in their 50s, 60s. It was people in their like 20s, that like people our age, and they were just pulling out these plastic wallets. Me and Hassan were thinking, where the hell are you going? And what are we missing? I think that's one thing that I was so freaked out about, because I thought
we were worried about that. I was worried
because Mum had dropped us to the airport and she was long gone, and I was thinking, where could we print anything now?
No, it was
because
bizarre.
It's just a nightmare.
We didn't obviously need it. But
we didn't need it.
I don't know.
They were still whipping those documents out when we got to the check-in desks.
They were whipping those documents everywhere. Even when we were like in Singapore going to Bali, there was people there doing it, and I was thinking, what is going on? Like, genuinely, I was
because
so
I think
confused.
the thing is, when you look up what to do and visas and stuff, it does say everywhere that. And actually, we had friends that had been to Singapore and to Bali actually very recently on their honeymoon as well, and they had sort of said like,
you just do it on arrival.
But I think I'd looked up just in case to double check, because I thought, just in case anything's changed or whatever. And it does say like you can do everything on arrival, you can do everything on your phone. And actually, I didn't see any in Singapore, but it was somewhere. I think maybe it was to Malaysia, and they had computers. So you went through and there were actually sets of computers where you could sit down if you didn't want to do it on your phone then, because actually the one for Malaysia, that entrance form just took so long and mine kept on glitching. Do you remember?
No, it wasn't that. I done it and it worked. I can't remember what it was.
Magic touch.
It wasn't that.
No,
it was
I filled
just
out
like,
one field wrong, and then it didn't automate the rest, because I think the form was meant to automate. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, so you could do that. But yeah, so that was that. And then we got through, and then obviously we realised that the flight was delayed.
It was just
and
really
we were
annoying,
just so
we just literally got through. We got through the security, and we were in the thing, and then we just looked at it, and I was just like, oh no, like it was so dead. But then they gave us some free food vouchers and stuff, which was all right. I think we ended up using that to buy books.
No, we couldn't. No, we didn't. No, but we did we were bobbing around the bookshops for quite a while. No, we went and do you remember we went into that place and I just got cookie and ice cream? I can't remember. Didn't you get pizza? Can't remember that.
I can't remember. Wow,
I was very tired.
We were deliriously
I was very,
tired.
very tired. I don't really know why I was trying to eat a cookie either.
So anyway, we found out we obviously had loads of time to spare. We went to a Chinese restaurant, which we'll get to that in a second. Went to a Chinese restaurant. We went and bought our books to read for the holiday, and then I don't know, we got some cookies, and then I think I needed, basically, so I like have migraines, and I think I was getting one then, and then obviously all of our tablets were in our suitcases, checked in, so we just went and we bought like some tablets as well, and then I don't know, like we just
chilled. There really was nothing else you could do. We chilled. I think I started reading and then stopped and then was falling asleep, so I think I was asleep, sat in the chair for a bit. I think you did the same, and then I think in the end then we just went to the gate and it was fine and we got on.
I think, do you know what it was as well, actually, like thinking
you
about
were very
it,
stressed,
I was very
you thought
stressed
the flight
because
might be cancelled.
I don't know, like I was really worried that it would be cancelled, and like it was just something we were really looking forward to, and it just so I was really stressed, but luckily everything went smooth. We then hopped on the flight, 13 hours.
And we're going to talk about
sorry, so rewind. There was this like breakfast spot. It was a Chinese place, and they'd done this like halal breakfast, so we were like buzzing. We're like, yeah, let's go. So we get a table, we sit down, we're ordering our food. Halfway through, this guy comes in, sits next to us, right? Obviously we don't know him, but he's just sat there and he's eating his food. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we hear, "Bleh!" And then he goes,
It wasn't even. No, I don't.
So he burped so loudly.
It wasn't. It was not a burp. It was a belch. He belched, and it was
then he
just so
blows
loud.
it everywhere.
Blew it everywhere, and just said nothing. No, excuse me. No, sorry. No, nothing. And bear in mind, the tables are so close.
It's probably as close as like. So imagine I'm sat there, right? Or Summer, because Summer was against the wall. So imagine Summer sat here, and he's genuinely sat there. That's how close. And I'm obviously opposite Summer. So I was just
crazy.
Like, what are you?
I didn't even know what was going on. And it's first thing in the morning, and you're just thinking, really? Is that
it was
really
so so out of pocket, and it was so random. But
anyway, and then we boarded the flight, and Singapore Airlines the whole way. Honestly, I don't think there was. I think, do you know what we said was it was actually the staff that made the flight so good. It wasn't really anything to do with. Planes are pretty much, wherever you go, whenever you're flying economy, they all pretty much the same.
We were fortunate as well because we had
a free seat.
We had a free seat next to us, so it was like 2 and 1 spare. So we did good, and I would say I done well. So our plan was obviously to sleep as much as we could on the flight. I reckon I slept for about 60-70%. Summer did sleep a little bit less than me. She found it a bit harder to fall asleep. But
watch some movies, watch some Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy always puts me to sleep. I don't know why that's still like one of my comfort shows, because I don't actually think really any of the episodes are that comforting.
But it was really good.
But it was such a good flight, and everyone was just super nice. Like all the staff. There was one point where the food had been served, and you could just tell that everyone had realised that there was no dessert. And then the guy, the staff member who had all the desserts, was like coming through with ice creams, and he was really excited. He was like, "Guys, we got dessert!" And it was just like, it was just such a good vibe. It was such a good atmosphere, and all the staff was so caring and attentive, and really, I think, do you know what it was? I'm actually not an anxious flyer, and I'm really glad that I'm not. But I do think if you were, they would really just put you at ease, and 100%. Fantastic. Yeah, I loved it.
Definitely. So the flight was amazing. We landed, and then we were in Singapore for a couple of days, and
it was amazing. I think we were trying to describe it, and we've described it to people that we know who have been and people who haven't, and I feel like it's only when you go. Singapore has this vibe about it that I feel like
unless you go, you don't really know what it is. It's hard to
it just like stole our hearts. It's hard to even like explain. There's just such a good, calm, chill vibe. Like it's so safe, it's so clean, the people are so nice. It just, I don't know, there's just something about it, and I think I couldn't even put my finger on it to even describe it. But then, I mean, one of your friends went kind of like stopped on their honeymoon in Singapore, and I was talking to his wife, and she said the same thing, and she was just like, it's really hard to describe it. It's just such a good vibe.
It's amazing. Like everyone there, friendly,
happy,
really clean,
chill.
Really just everyone's just like I mean everything which Summer's already said like is what we experienced. But we did loads of fun stuff out there. We did food out there was insane.
Oh, the food was so
the food on that side
good.
of the world is crazy. It is so ridiculously cheap out there as well. Like we went to a famous food market first, and it's called Lao Pao Sat, and that's the one where like everyone tells you to go, and it's like on pretty much a lot on like all the touristy sort of places. And we went there, we had a great time, and we ate like loads of food and probably spent 15 quid, and we like had like big plates of noodles, and we had like chicken satay, we had prawn satay that night as well.
We had dumplings.
We had loads of stuff, and it was like it was probably about 15 quid for like that big meal.
And the food is so good. The quality of it is insane.
Was delicious,
it's
really,
so
really good.
nice.
And then what actually happened is
we were getting a cab
on the way to Lao Pao Sat, we were in the cab, and we were obviously speaking to the driver, and then the driver actually said, "Listen, you guys should go, if you guys really like food and that's like your thing, like you guys need to go to East Coast and go to Lagoon." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And we've not heard of it, we've not seen this anywhere. And he was like, "Yeah, like it's cheaper than Lao Pao Sat, and the food is better." And he was like asking where we were going and stuff that evening, and obviously he goes, "No, if you're on this side of the town, like if you're around this area, go Lao Pao Sat tonight."
And it's so good that he gave us that tip, because otherwise we would have never known. I'd never heard of it, and even now since then I've looked up and I've not seen anyone that actually, I don't know, people that travel bloggers and stuff that talk about it, or even on actual travel blogs or YouTube or wherever. It's just not really
known. But what we did, so we went to Lao Pao Sat. Don't get me wrong, the food there was really good. It was again and cheap and whatever, and it was just really nice, good experience. Like, so basically outside Lao Pao Sat, they've got this thing called Satay Street, and they've literally got barbecues going for about probably maybe 100 meters, and they've just got barbecue, and there's so many people just selling chicken satay, and it's like fresh off and it was brilliant.
So nice.
And such a good vibe as well. Like, they got all these chairs and stuff.
And
like,
they're really excited for you to try the food. I think that's what I
100%,
love. They're
100%.
really, really excited, and they come over and they check on you, and like,
I'm
I don't
also
know,
so
it's
what
so
it's
nice.
really funny. So like, you know, when you go on holiday, there's always someone like trying to sell you stuff, and they're like trying to like entice you into spending money, right? And I'm normally really like rigid and really good at like not getting suckered and like pulled in somewhere. So like, even like you go somewhere, I'll just tell someone like politely, no, it's okay, I just want to have a look first. And that's what normally I want to do, get a lay of the like kind of like
lay of the land.
And try and see everything, and then kind of like, okay, we're gonna go here. Walked into this Satay Street, got lassoed, like roped straight in onto a table, ordered loads of food straight away. Some other guy came over, showing me a menu. I ordered food from him. Like,
There was
like,
no restraint. There was no let me
was
just
like-
look and see. It was just bombardment, ambushed.
and it was just like, the thing is,
But also, we were really hungry that night.
no,
we were really
it's
hungry.
no 100%. But it was just really funny because I was just like, it was just so out of character for me. But the food was still good. Like, there was no qualms. And yeah, and we had our food, and like that. So that was Lao Pao Sat, and then I think we went the
We
next
went to
day.
Lagoon the next night.
Next
and
night we went to Lagoon.
it was packed as well. So we went, and actually their car park was full. It was
Absolutely
definitely, you
rammed.
could just tell it's definitely like a local spot,
It's 100. Yeah,
which I feel
everyone
like is
there
how you can
was
tell that
pretty
it's
much.
good.
Yeah. And so basically, again, it's another like sort of street food market. We walked around.
It's
we
a
must
hawkers
have had.
centre, actually. That's what they call them, hawkers centres.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like definitely, I think this gave, I don't know, yeah, this just gave more of like a locals vibe, because people were there with like their families and stuff, and but there was so much variety, and actually like where it is, because East Coast is like right by the water, all the shellfish
food
and
and
the
all the
seafood and all of that, you could just
fresh.
tell it was fresh. It was so nice. I think we had some tiger prawns
Excuse me.
there that were just
Oh my god,
insane.
insane! Like garlic butter tiger prawns, they were huge. Like, it was like one of them was like the size of my hand. We had like tiger prawns. We had some Thai food out there, like some beef noodles. We had chicken satay again. We had papaya salad, which was
Spicy
amazing.
papaya salad.
We had so we tried something new. We had it was, what was it, fried oysters. And it was like fried, like scrambled eggs with
Yeah.
like these oysters, and they tasted really good.
It wasn't really my favorite, actually. I don't know. I didn't really love it. I don't think it was. It wasn't.
She says that now, but she was definitely like shoveling it in. when we
No,
were
I
there.
think. Do you know what it was? Out of all the stuff that we tried, I think it was just my least favorite. But yeah, it was really, I think, just really cool, and also, so much of the stuff there is halal.
Yeah,
so you
which
don't
was a
have
surprise
to-
to us, which was actually a surprise.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the stuff was halal, which is perfect, because then we're not just kind of stuck eating seafood. Like, we can have a bit of chicken, a bit of beef. So that was quite nice for us as well. But yeah, again, price-wise, we'd ordered like 8-9 dishes, had so much food, and it didn't go past £20, and which is like crazy, because that kind of food here is like at least 70 quid, I would say.
And the quality's just nowhere
And the quality is not,
near,
nowhere near the same.
nowhere near what it is.
But yeah, so we did that.
That was that, and then we did just like a lot of touristy bits. We just popped around. We were really close to Haji Lane and Arab Street, which is like a
Famous streets.
they're two
right?
famous streets, like really like cool area, very like loads of like restaurants and food spots and like little independent shops and stuff there. That area is really cool. I'm really glad we were so close by, because I think just we popped up there like 2 days in a row, and there was an Arabica coffee there, so we got some coffees, had a nice breakfast.
It was just nice because it was
just such a
walking. It was
nice-
walking distance. So like,
because everything else, all the bigger attractions like the
Were quite
gardens by the
far.
bay and stuff, and even Lao Pa Sat, it was kind of like a taxi ride away.
And it was good
it was
vibes.
just
And then
nice
we
to be
had
able to
we had a
walk
rooftop
somewhere.
pool as well, so we kind of like chilled by the pool and read some
And
of our
read?
books as well,
Yeah.
which was good. And
And
like
it was your birthday while we were there as well.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was an incredible birthday. Summer surprised me with like balloons, and she brought presents as well that she'd wrapped for me, which was like really cute because it's quite funny actually. I was just like chilling in bed, not realizing. She said that she's gone for a shower. Next thing you know, she comes out with all these balloons. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I was blowing them up in the bathroom, trying to be really coy because the night before we'd bought the packet of balloons, and actually, so we were in like it wasn't a 7-Eleven, but it was kind of like one of them. And I said to Hassan, I was like, oh, just go, like it's okay, I'll pay. And I literally said to the guy behind the counter, just said, oh, just one more second. And I ran to the back and like got the balloons. And he, you know, just when you have those little interactions with people and you just love people, and he was just looking at me and he was like, okay, yeah, shh, yeah. And really just whispering to me because he knew that they were for Hassan, and he was like, okay, yeah, just put them in your bag. And he was telling me to put them in my handbag.
Yeah, so he was like, don't
they
put it
weren't
in the shopping bag.
With the shopping bag with
He
the
was
water
like, put
and
it in,
chocolate
put it
and
in the
whatever
handbag, which was quite cute. And
so funny.
yeah, that was nice. But yeah, honestly, Summer like absolutely spoilt me, surprised me. Like all of my presents were amazing.
And we had such a nice
We had a nice day.
time.
Like we had a great day.
Yeah.
Actually, to be fair, we've actually filmed a day in our life on that day, so that will probably end up on TikTok at some point.
Oh, we made it to a little indoor golfing place as well.
Oh yeah, so yeah, to celebrate my birthday, we got to go to an indoor golf sort of place, which was fun. So they had like this golf simulator. It's called Trackman, so it's quite like it's a bit of a popular sort of simulator to use, I believe. But yeah, we used that, and the clubs and everything they gave were fantastic. Unfortunately, I didn't get many clips of it. But it was great fun.
It was cool. It was fun.
It was great fun. Summer had a little go as well. She hasn't quite fallen in love with golf just yet, but hopefully, fingers crossed, she'll get there.
Yeah, I think I've always been told that it was quite a frustrating sport. Like as fun as it is, like I think
You done well though. You
I've
weren't
known it to be
bad. I don't think
frustrating.
you were bad.
No, I don't think I'm terrible. I think just
You
I
just
don't
need
know.
practice,
It'll
isn't
come a bit at a time. But yeah, we had such a good time that night as well. We went for dinner and we were in a taxi, and actually the guy who was our taxi driver actually had kind of asked us like how long we'd be in Singapore and if we were enjoying it and all that kind of stuff. And we actually had said like I could honestly move there. I could move there tomorrow, and I just loved it so much. And it was so interesting because I think, I don't know, you know how wherever you go, you tell people that you love where you are, and they will always tell you somewhere else, because it's so interesting how people love.
Yeah,
They never. I don't know. You never really love the country that you're in. Like I think it's not that I don't love London, and obviously like London is now my home, and obviously your family's here and everything, but kind of we were sort of saying that we love Singapore. And the driver actually there was saying that he said that we'd be better off going to live in Taiwan, and he was sort of telling us like how good Taiwan is and how good the culture is there and how good the food is. And I don't know, I just find it so interesting that, you know, like because we were literally like dazzled by Singapore to a point where we were just like, it's incredible here. And he just said, he was like, look, like you need to keep traveling around and see what else is there, because
do you know what it was?
place.
Yeah, he just I think
he said because Singapore is small, I think was one of the things. I mean, I guess the UK is small as well, so I
think
Singapore is tiny.
I don't know. I was going to try and say what's bigger and what's smaller, but I
don't
have
even
absolutely
know.
no clue, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, no,
really
it was interesting to hear his like opinion on it and stuff. But
I think definitely sold Taiwan to me, because honestly,
we got to go and explore Taiwan first before we go and move there.
No, obviously, no, not to move there, but I think just it has never really. I wouldn't actually say Taiwan specifically has been.
You've not thought of it as
I've just not thought of it as a destination to go to. But he was really singing his praises. So
yeah, and then so I don't know, and then we did that, and then we did like I said, we did touristy stuff. So we checked out like the malls, Marina Sands, which is like the big sort of like buildings. We did the Gardens by the Bay, which are those like cool like tree things where you got the bridges which walk across.
Incredible views of Singapore.
Yeah.
It was really hot that day.
Really, really hot.
Guys, if you're in Singapore, take cool, like light clothes, loose clothes, and SPF it up, because it was hot and it was so humid. I don't think I mean, it's such a girly thing, but I didn't wear my hair down any of the days that we were there because it was so hot. And it was just after 5 minutes of you being out, you were just hot. But I think you just get used to it, like, so quickly. But
yeah, no. Do you know what? It was like, yeah.
Yeah, I just loved it. I literally loved it.
I know. I feel like
100%.
we've spoken about Singapore and all we said, we loved it, and that's all we've said.
We can't even tell you why.
It is very hard. I would say, look, the top things is like the price wise, so cheap out there to
get around, even the taxis, the food,
everything like that. So I would say that's definitely like a plus. Second thing was the culture and everyone's attitude and the people. Nice. Everyone was just so lovely, welcoming, chatty, and that really does make a difference when you're traveling. When you go somewhere and people are really like rigid and like unapproachable, it is quite difficult. And I think it does impact your holiday. But yeah, everyone there was lovely, and then also the food was unreal. Like, the food was amazing. And for you guys, we've spoken so much about food on this pod in general, like, so you can imagine for people like for me and Summer, like, that's amazing. we
were talking about that sandwich in Barcelona. I feel like the tiger prawns are
it's
going to be
same
them.
Level?
Yeah, I think so.
Fair
I feel
enough.
like that from this trip. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so that was Singapore, and then we were in Singapore for 3 days.
3 or 4 days, I can't remember.
And then we flew to Bali.
Yeah.
Which
was, I would say, the main honeymoon part of the trip. So we touched down. We obviously jumped straight into a cab, and took us straight to the hotel. We checked in, and honestly, during that trip was like our relax part of the trip, and we literally. The whole time we were there,
and the whole time we've been married, we've not even done a trip like that where you just sit
and
relax and chill, because every time that we go on holiday, we're just bopping around somewhere trying to see as much as we can, and it's great, and I really, really enjoy it. But I think
this was nice. This was really
nice. Yeah.
So our general daily routine was, we woke up, had breakfast, we chilled by the pool, read our books, we had lunch by the pool, and then we went for a massage. Then we went for dinner, and then we went to bed. And it was literally just like that for 7 days, and it was bliss.
And the staff where we were was
in that hotel were amazing. The place is called Banda Suites. Really, really cool.
They were lovely.
Lovely. Like, it was just, the weather was so beautiful, and it was just, the food there was good. Everything was just, it was just all sort of handled for us. Like, it was just nice.
Yeah, no, loved it. We did as well. Oh, so actually the other thing that we were going to say was, so in Bali they don't have public transport, so they don't have buses or trains or anything, so everyone kind of gets around by car or by bike. And whenever we stepped out of the hotel, because we pop out of the hotel to go and get ourselves something from the shop, or just go and just bob around, and honestly the amount of people that would be trying to get Hassan on the back of bikes, they'd be brother, bike, and we didn't even have time to explain to them, because they're sort of like just driving past and they're ready to like go, and you can't even explain to them our hotel is like 5 minutes away from.
Not even 5 minutes away. It's like our hotel is
5 steps away. We
literally,
I couldn't even dignify getting on the back of a bike for them to just drive us to the barrier for the hotel.
But it's just, I don't know. It's just
funny,
it's the way. I think if you go to Bali, like, or people who have been to Bali know exactly what we're talking about. But it's just so funny. Like, you just step out, brother, bike, brother, bike, brother, bike, brother, bike. Bike, brother, Habibi, bike. Like, it's literally just that's the first thing you'd hear. Like, and it wouldn't even be once. You'd walk down the road for like 2 minutes, and about 6 people have offered you.
But the thing
bike.
Is, it doesn't
fun,
feel like you're being pressed either. They're so friendly, and they're so like welcoming.
I feel like they're half expecting you to say no anyway. It's so like like, I don't know, but it was definitely fun. It was definitely good vibes.
And we also went swimming with dolphins.
Oh yeah, so basically, yeah. So what I was gonna say, the one day where we actually did something, we went to swim with dolphins. Oh my god, that experience was unreal.
That was like an experience of a lifetime. It was incredible.
I would actually genuinely put that up there with like skydiving or like, you know, one of those like big things that you kind of do. One thing I would say from doing this experience, so I've had the opportunity to swim with dolphins in like one of those like aquarium kind of settings, and it was one of those, and I was considering doing it. I didn't do it. I'm so glad I didn't, and I waited to do it in the ocean like we did, because it was just like incredible. So we woke up at like 2:30 a.m. We had to get in a car, early doors, drive all the way to like the north of Bali, which is like a 3-hour drive from where we were.
Hassan slept the whole way, and we were literally going over a mountain. And you know when you can feel the car going, and it was so dark, but the guy who drove us was so sweet and so nice, and he drove us over and then got us like parked up, and then we walked with the guys who were going to take us on.
Yeah,
onto
so
the
we
boat.
were so obviously like the guy who drove us, we booked the excursion through them, but they obviously took us to where we jump on the boats, and then we kind of chilled, waited for a lot of other people to get there, and then then
like
we all
6
jumped.
a.m.
Yeah, and then we all jumped on these boats, and then our boat driver was so cute because it was sunrise then, so he just drove like out into the water, parked up the boat, so we were right in front of sunrise, and then he goes, to the left, sunrise.
And then he just
right?
turned
And then
off.
he just turned the boat off, and
he just turned it off,
sat
and
there.
he just let us just watch the sunrise. And I thought it was just so cute because everyone else's boats had driven out and they'd gone off to go and whatever they were going to do. And yeah, and he just let us, and he just waited. And I think we were there for like, must have been like 20 minutes. I don't know how long the sun takes to rise. But it was like 20 minutes. And then he was like, okay, everyone good? And we were like, yeah, good. And then he was like, okay, snorkeling.
Let's go.
And then he drove
us out, and then we
a spot.
snorkeled for a bit, and that was like incredible.
That was really cool.
I was
never
actually
been before.
So this was Summer's first time snorkeling, and obviously you loved it, right?
I loved it. Yeah, really,
Yeah?
really cool. Yeah.
And I've like snorkeled in a few different locations. I think that is probably the best place I've ever snorkeled. Like it was
the water's
really
just so
cool,
blue, and
so blue, so clear.
so many
The
fish.
coral looked beautiful, and you had like so many fish. Like it was awesome. So we were there for quite a while snorkeling, which was good fun. Then we jumped into the boat, and then we're on a mission, and we're like out into sea trying to find these dolphins. And it was like you're kind of like nervous with anticipation. And one thing I said to Summer is, I said, look, I don't know if they can even guarantee us that we're going to see dolphins. I was like, try and imagine that we're not going to see them, and then if we do see them, it's
Then
bonus.
it's just an extra.
But then when you're there and
you're so nervous.
You're
because
so
I actually
nervous 'cause you're
thought
like-
we were driving out, and kind of some of the boats were sort of coming back because I think people did the activities in different orders. So I think some people had gone to go and see them
I don't
first,
know.
and then they're sort of telling our boat driver like, oh, it's over there, like go towards that area, and then obviously the boat driver's like putting his foot down and really like accelerating the boat, and
Like,
all of
trying
us
to
were
get
just
there.
so nervous.
And one guy did like put up a thumbs up and stuff, so then you're kind of like, oh, okay, like
They're definitely there, but
they're
then the
definitely
thing
there.
is they could be there and you could not see them because they could stay under the water.
yeah, or they could just swim off to another area. So like, anyway, so we get to like this point, and there's like a few boats and stuff, and then all of a sudden like they just start poking up through the water. And like you can just see them, and it's like, oh my god. And so how the swimming part works is, so we had like quite a narrow boat, and then on the sides of each boat there were like these poles, and basically they had like these
it was like a
handles.
hand-holding.
They had these handles dangling off, and so basically you jump in and you hold on to the handles, and then he drives the boat, and then you use your snorkels to look down, and you can see the dolphins if they're under there. So we'd seen like glimpses of them kind of going, and we're just like so excited, like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then because we'd seen them, he said like jump in, so we jumped in, and we must have drove around for about 5 minutes. I didn't see them. Summer caught a glimpse early doors.
They were very
but-
deep underwater.
They were like apparently
obviously
really deep.
when you're looking down as well, the water's just
Blue.
it's literally blue.
All you can see is just.
all you can see is blue, but you could just see them. They were so far, and I kind of thought, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And that's kind of when I was sort of resigning myself to it, because I thought, right, okay, well,
Is this what it
that
is,
was really
basically?
nice.
But
we've
even
seen
at that
them, and
point,
then that's
at
it.
that point, I hadn't even seen anything, right? So we carry on, and then I put my head up, and I was like, did you see any? She goes, yeah, I did. I was like, what? And then I said, next. She goes, she was trying to kick me to like tell me that they're there. So I said, next time, tap my hand. So then I'll make sure I look, kind of thing. And then we drove around, and like 2 minutes later, then she's like slapping my hand, and I've like put my head down, and I just literally saw them, and they were so close underneath me, and I just went, oh my God, like I was in so much shock, and they kind of just swam underneath, and they just looked so beautiful, and
That's so cute.
literally so cute. And then we kind of like popped our heads up, and then we were like, oh my God,
We're like really excited.
Like,
And
really
there was
excited.
another guy. There was a guy on the other side. So obviously like there's handles on both sides of the boat. So we were together, and then that guy had come out, and no one else. There were
there was a few other people in the boat.
and they hadn't been in yet. So, but they probably hadn't seen them either, because obviously they were like right under the water with us. So we got out, and then we all got back into the boat, and then that guy was like right at the back, and we all like looked at each other. He was like, "Did you see it?" We were like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Yeah, I saw it as well. It was amazing."
And then so basically, we obviously saw them for a very brief moment. The other guys got in, and then when they were driving around, because they were all there, they got to see them quite a lot. And then the guy was like, when these guys finished, like he goes, you guys go back in as well, because he kind of wanted us to experience it for a bit longer. And oh my
It was
God,
amazing.
there were so many. And he just drives around like really slowly around the area, and then you just see them come underneath, and then you put your
And they're
head
just,
up,
and then
they're
they're
like,
to the side,
then
and then
they're
you can see
popping up,
them
and then
in
they're like-
front.
and you're just like kind of looking up, you see them popping up for air, and then you go down and you see them dive underneath and around. And
Amazing.
yeah, it was like unreal, like so cool, such an awesome experience. So I mean, that was the only excursion we done out there. We didn't really do any of like the quad biking stuff and all of that.
No, I know you can like quad bike through the jungle. I think there was like there's loads of waterfalls around Bali, and I know definitely like usually when people go, they sort of go to Ubud and they go to Uluwatu, and obviously like around there's like tea and coffee. I think it's tea plantations, fields and stuff. So obviously they'll go like there, and I know that there's other stuff to do. We just kind of wanted to relax, and
yeah,
but we did
said
that
basically the
excursion
vibe
day,
of
and it was
the
just
vibe,
worth
the vibe,
it.
the
The
vibe,
vibe.
the vibe, the vibe of the holiday was to chill. And we wanted to wake up and do nothing. That was the vibe we went with, because it was our honeymoon. We wanted to chill, we wanted to relax. So that's what we went with. But we only done the dolphins because we knew we could do them there, and we didn't know when we would be in a location where we could do it. So which is why we went with that as an option. Or,
But that
no,
was
that's the only.
amazing,
That's why
and-
that was the only reason why we did that.
And we finished as well, and we got back into the boat and dried off, and we were so far out to sea by the time we got back, and then they gave us breakfast, so that was really nice. And
Yeah, they
chill,
gave us.
and
They gave us
just had
breakfast,
some toast
like
and
some
jam
toast or
and-
whatever, and then jumped in the car
jumped in
back to the
cab
hotel.
and then drove back over the mountain all the way. And it was so funny because then, you know, like when you've been on that drive in the dark, you can't see anything, and then during the day, obviously, like there were monkeys everywhere, so you could see all the monkeys. And then there's people who had got like their food markets, so they were setting up their markets and stuff, and like obviously people are out shopping, and yeah, I don't know, it was amazing, really, really cool.
Yeah. So I mean, so what I would say as Bali as an overall, people were lovely.
Again,
like,
super cheap.
So cheap. It was crazy. Like a full body massage for an hour was £6. A foot rub was £3 for half an hour.
Water, snacks, literally everything.
Water, snacks, everything.
Everything
Went
is
to like we'd go to
so
the shop
cheap.
and you'd walk out with like so much stuff, and you've only spent like £3. Like it was honestly over there, like prices so cheap. Even like dinners and stuff like that, really, 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 really cheap. Even like at the 5-star places, like we're at a 5-star restaurant and stuff, part of the hotel, and like it's ridiculously cheap. Like you're looking at 15 quid for lunch, and like the lunch was really good.
But overall, it was
yeah,
such
like
a nice
it was a
place.
beautiful
loved it.
place. 100% recommend it to anyone like traveling. And there's so much more. There's so much more there. We basically
That we just
like
didn't
we
see
didn't
and
do
we didn't
anything,
do. So
but
we can go back.
it was the idea, and I think we would go back, and I think if we did go back, we would probably do more stuff anyway.
Travel around, yeah. But
But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. And from there, then this is where disaster
do you
struck.
want to talk about how we almost missed our flight? How we didn't make it to
so
Malaysia?
this is where disaster struck. So basically, in a part of our hotel package, they had an airport transfer, but it was like one way, if that makes sense. So I decided to use it for the way back to the airport, and they were like, oh, Mr. Ali, like what you do just 2 days before, come and let us know your flight details, or like, you know, what time your flight is, and we can plan it and organize your car. I was like, cool, no problem. comes around to like obviously like 2 days or whatever before we're leaving, I just go down and speak to reception, and I was like, right, okay, our flight's at 4:30. So I've got everything on my phone, not on a piece of paper, but I've got everything on my phone. And I
You
look.
thought the flight was 4:55.
So yeah, so 4:55. I said that's the flight. I was like, I need to get there 4 hours before, so that's like 1:00. We need to leave here at 12:15 because it was like 45 minutes or something to get there. So they were like, cool, no problem, arranged. Called them like day before just to double check everything was good. They were like, cool, sweet. So we're enjoying our time. We're packing, get in the car.
We had a nice breakfast that morning.
Yeah.
We were chilling. I've never been so chill when I checked out of a hotel. I mean, that in itself should be a warning sign.
So anyway,
I think for future. But we got in the taxi.
No. If we had planned, or not if we planned, if I hadn't messed it up, right, we'd
Then
still
we
left
would've
in
been
a
chill,
chilled way. Like, so it wasn't that. Anyway, so we jump in the car. We head to the airport. We get to the airport now, and obviously what happened, and this is the thing. So on the morning, I checked in because we were flying with Air Asia, so you could check in and get your boarding passes, which means all you have to do is go drop your bag. You could just do bag drop, go and drop the bags, and then go through security and get into the area. And obviously, you know me, I like to get my 4 hours before as well. So basically, we pull up to the airport at
We were round the corner.
12:55. No, well, yeah, round the
We
corner.
were round the
basically
corner.
pulled up there. Wait.
We're around the corner.
I'm gonna tell them. We've basically pulled up. We're going into the car park of the airport, and basically I've got the 2 boarding passes. I was like to someone, let me airdrop you your boarding pass, and then obviously you've got it ready. She's like, cool. So I open it, and then she goes, Has, why does that say gate closes at 1:20?
Why does it say boarding at 1:45?
No, it wasn't.
Gate closes.
The flight was at what? The flight was at
1:45. Yeah.
So it was like, why did it say boarding at like 12? No, it would have said gate closes at 1:20. That's what it would have said.
Yeah.
So she goes, why does that say gate closes at 1:20? And then I look at the time now, and I was like really confused. And then it dawned on me, I misread the thing, and basically, I had 4:55 was when we were gonna land in Malaysia, not when we were taking off. So I've just gone. I looked at someone. I was like, I am so.
He just descended
sorry.
into panic.
I just thought. Honestly,
missed it.
I just thought there's no way we're making this. We've got there at 1:00, 12:55, but we've got there basically at 1:00. It's saying gate close out in 20 minutes. How on earth I just
get through bag drop. I think Hassan had basically decided we're not making this, and I was really like forever the optimist. I was like, it's fine, we can try. Let's try.
But I already said to someone, I was in my head, I was trying to make it, but in my mind I was like planning for the worst, and I was like, if we don't make this, what are we doing? How are we going to do it? And I think I was more trying to prepare myself for the worst, rather than being like, oh yeah, we're going to make it, when, I don't know. Honestly, we shouldn't have made that flight. So basically, we got a blessing. It was delayed by like 30 minutes. We sprinted to the check-in desk. They had to call to even say whether we could actually check our luggage. They made the call. We could check our luggage. That was the first part, which we were like, yes.
And then
fantastic.
She said the gate's really far.
Then
so
she said the gate's
really
far, so you better run. So she took the luggage, checked it. So this is one thing I always do now. When I check luggage, I always take a small carry-on suitcase and I put clothes in there in case luggage gets lost. Because you just never know. Even with the best airlines, you never know. It's always good to have backup in case you might need a couple garments for a few days until they've sent your suitcase. So
we'd actually put all of our clothes from Malaysia into
we put all of our clothes
case.
into that suitcase. So I was like, if they take all, I was like to someone, I was like, those suitcases, they just need to get there before we leave to go back to London, because we've got all of our clothes here. We bolted through the airport. We went through security, which took ages, but
our
we got
Crocs
through.
were in full sport mode, dashing through the airport.
Anyway, ran through the airport. We got through security. Security was long. On the other side of security, you then have to go through passport control. Huge queue. Then, out of nowhere, we're like stressed, saying we're really late and da da da. And this guy overhears us, and he was just like, he was like, "Oh, are you late?" And then I was like, "Yeah." So he goes, "Oh, just like come here," and like lifts up the little rope thing. He's like, "Just come, stand next to me." And then he was like, and I was like, "Oh no!" Like I felt bad, like cutting in front of people.
He was sort of saying, he told us, he just said, just tell them you're going to be late and just go. And we were so embarrassed because I think there was like 40 people in front of us, and I just thought, how are we going to convince 40 people to let us through? Because also what we'd seen was there was another guy with his girlfriend, and both of them were late for a flight to Singapore, which was going 15 minutes before ours, which was delayed as well, but it was going 15 minutes before ours. They dashed to the front, and basically the guys at the desk said like, no, you can't come now. And actually they let the guy's girlfriend go through, but they didn't let him go through. And he said, and they let her go through.
Basically, no.
Or did they not realise?
No. They weren't together. So what happened is, the boyfriend must have sent the girlfriend, and basically, like, she was quite small and sneaky, and she just literally went under the rope all the way to the front. No one basically clocked her because she just darted through, and then she stood there at the front, and then she kind of went, and then obviously they didn't clock. But when the guy came through, he was a little bit more,
I think he was just way more hectic.
Way more hectic, because he had like half a shirt hanging off, all sorts. And they basically,
Really
what they said
freaked
to
out.
him is, they weren't rude to him, but they were like,
I think they were worried about
go
everyone
back
else.
and ask. You can't just push your way to the front. Ask these people, is it okay? And so it was
He
like
just
a bit.
turned around and he just threw his hands up like this, and he was like, "Can I go?" And at that point,
imagine,
obviously,
I actually heard one guy say, "Well, why were you late?" I was like, "Oh my god,
just let him go."
This guy is such a savage." Anyway, so we were like, so we're in the queue. And
then
obviously,
we
you know how
watched
it snakes round, right? So the guy in the second row, he was like, "Look, just tell everyone you're late. They won't mind. Just come." And then he literally kind of almost forced us to go. And then he goes, and then he was just like, "Just go through, go under that one and go to the front." And then we were obviously really nervous and obviously panicking, right? And we just didn't know what to do. And then he just went, just let guys, can you just let these guys through? They're
He
really
just said,
late.
"Look, they're
And
really
he just
late."
announced it to them, and then
they just
pushed
said,
us
"Yeah,
through.
sure," and then they let us
And
go
everyone
through.
was like, fine. So thankfully we went through. From there we bolted it. We made the flight.
They were just starting boarding, so we were actually not
Yeah.
late.
So we
were so lucky.
So really lucky we made it. We were
Probably
relieved.
the quickest
Got out
I've
on
ever
the other
moved through an
side.
airport.
Got out on the other side. Went to baggage claim. Our suitcases arrived as well, and that was again. We were so happy.
We were so happy.
We were
I
just
can't
so
believe
happy.
the suitcases made it, because that was really good. From them, I think AirAsia's like definitely like one of their smaller, like more domestic-y type airlines, and basically
were
like
amazing.
a Ryanair type, and they
Vibe.
managed to get the suitcases there. So
100%. That was great.
That was
and then,
incredible.
And then we had Malaysia.
and we were in Malaysia for literally like
One full day.
one
Full
day.
day. It took us. So basically, one thing with Malaysia, it is not a walking city. It was really funny because the hotel I booked, I actually took a recommendation of Tik Tok, and the woman said everything's like 10 minutes walk away. They were like 10-minute walks away, but I just don't feel like it's designed for walking. I feel like you just cab it everywhere.
I think also just people I didn't see that many people walking around. I did see like a few people with umbrellas, but also
It's
just
not
some of
it's just
even
the
some of
roads,
the
'cause,
roads.
like, sometimes the
one
pavement
night,
just disappears.
yeah, the pavement just
And
disappears.
then you're just like I think we went to a restaurant on the last night, and we're walking towards it and we're on the pavement,
On a
and then
dual
all of a sudden the road's gone, and yeah, we're on a dual carriageway. But like it wasn't.
It was only for a small
busy.
stretch. It was like a small stretch, and then you're going up to the restaurant. But obviously, you're just so used to going places where where there's like pavement everywhere. But we actually we had like a little bit of an explore. We went to another food market there in a street called Jalan-Alor.
Oh my
god!
Yeah,
that was
crazy.
incredible.
Like we did that on the first night. We walked down this road, so busy. Everyone's like shouting, like trying to get you to come and sit. And it's not like street food. It's kind of like restaurants, I guess. Yeah, it is. It's restaurants.
It's restaurants, but they have all the tables obviously going out onto the
Yeah,
street, and then
onto the
they have
street.
some stalls further down.
Yeah,
They do still call it a street market.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
It is. But
Um,
so yeah, we walked down, and then basically we came back. We sat down at this place, and we tucked in, and we ordered like this big grilled fish. We ordered loads of food. I can't even remember, man.
I can't remember.
Oh, honey chicken.
Oh, the honey.
The honey. So
chicken
like
is
it was like
so nice.
a Chinese type dish. or a Malaysian dish. I don't know the origins, but yeah, it was like basically like fried chicken, but in this like honey drizzled sauce. So
That was
so
so
good.
nice. So yeah, so Jalan-Alor, honestly, I would just say, like, even around that whole area in the daytime, there's like so much street art. That is one thing I will say about KL is Kuala Lumpur. Like, there's so much street art, but that evening,
It was
the
incredible.
food
The
was
food
just
was
really
the food was
cool.
really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Then following on
The
from that,
next
so
day-
the next day, what we did is there was like, because we only had one day to get everything done, so we actually managed to hire an Uber driver, who was this lovely lady.
she was such
She
a
was
legend.
just
She was
such a
so
legend.
sweet, and
basically,
she just drove us around everywhere
Yeah.
for the day, which was perfect. We didn't have to worry about.
we told her like
Ubering
the places we wanted to go, and she literally just dropped us place to place to place. So we did Batu Caves, which is really famous. It's like those colourful steps that goes up into the caves. So we did that, which was cool. Then from there we went to Chinatown. We checked that place out.
There's another street around Chinatown which is like really famous for like street art.
We checked that out.
Kwai Chai Hong.
Yeah.
So we went there. That was really cool. And then she took us to Central Market, which we actually didn't have on our list of places, but she said that she loves it there, which was really nice. I think
Yeah,
it was just,
no,
otherwise we
definitely.
wouldn't have gone. So that was really nice. There's so many shops inside there.
That was cool.
That was really cool. And
where
then
else? Oh, we went to
the River of Life.
River of Life.
So we
which
walked
was-
along there, and there's
that was dope.
there's a mosque there as well. I can't remember what it's
Yeah.
called, but we like walked along the mosque. So
along
yeah,
the river, and then you could see the mosque. So that was quite
that
nice.
was a
And
lovely
then
day.
yeah, like it was just a really fun day. It was very like bam
Go
bam bam.
go go go.
But it was like, yeah, it was really, really nice. And then in the evening, we went to the towers, what are they called?
Petronas Towers.
Petronas Towers. So we went
And
there.
we went to I can't remember what's the bridge
There was
called.
so there's near Petronas Tower, there's another bridge. I can't remember the
I
name.
can't remember what it's
but
called.
it's like lit up and it's really beautiful. It's really funny that we're talking about travels and then we don't even know the name. But
I just can't. I think all I'm thinking of is the bridge that's in Singapore, which is called the Saloma Link Bridge. But I know that this one isn't called Saloma Link. I don't think it is, or maybe it is. I can't remember.
anyway, basically,
we went
that was
along that
really
bridge
cool.
and then we saw the towers, and that's like a big thing. Loads of people go there, and that's like a big photo op. But
yes, I feel like what we did with Malaysia was much like we tried the food there and the food was amazing. That was one thing we wanted to do, but also sort of traveling around and just
seeing what we
ticking
could
off all
in
the
the
tourist
time.
bits. We would go again and we'd go for longer for sure. I think we were just there one day too short.
yeah, I think if we'd have been there one more day.
But
I think
yeah.
also then we wouldn't have felt so rushed. But I think also the cab driver who took us home from Petronas Towers was telling us like all about like just about there's so many
Different
other places
areas,
in
different
Malaysia. There's
areas.
Langkawi, there's Redang Island. Both of those places are known for being like gorgeous beaches and the water's amazing. And yeah, like more cavey type places. But we'll be back to Malaysia. And honestly, now we've got the travel bug, we'll be traveling in Southeast Asia, I hope.
Yeah, no, definitely. We are going to
Um,
wrap up for today. We didn't even realize. I mean, we've been speaking for ages, but that was basically a summary of our latest trip.
Yeah.
If there's any like DLs of certain things you want
Or
us
any
to like go
recommendations
into,
or anything.
like drop it in the comments. We'll be happy to talk about it.
Yeah.
We do want to do so. I did want to do this in this episode. We just didn't get time, but maybe we'll put a segment somewhere else where we do like travel tips because there's definitely some cool things I've learned on this trip. So if you do want to hear them, like
Let us know.
let us know in the
Yeah.
comments, and we can do like a travel tips
Episode.
pod.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's all
That's
from
it.
us today. We will see you again next week.
Take care, guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and you can find us on Spotify and YouTube, and we will be back very, very soon. We love
Yeah.
you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.
We'll see
Thanks.
you soon. Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.